Hi, we're going to make spaghetti and meatballs for under 500 calories. We're going to talk also about portion sizes. We're going to read nutrition labels, and we're going to speak about using alternates to pasta. We're going to start by looking at portion sizes. So what I have for you here today is the whole grain spaghetti. I prefer this one over the white spaghetti because it has 7 grams of dietary fiber, whereas the white spaghetti only has 3 grams. So we're going to look at a portion of spaghetti. So 2 ounces is a portion. Every box like this has 8 portions. You can calculate out what a single serving portion of spaghetti is by using the hole in the middle of your spaghetti spoon, because that's going to give you the exact 2 ounce measurement. So the easiest way to do that is to kind of push some of the spaghetti out of the box, and we're going to push it through that hole. And if you grab it from the other side, that's going to give you about 2 ounces. So there you go. That's 1 serving. That's handy to know if you just want to cook 1 serving's worth.
Some alternatives to wheat pasta are these penne, made out of red lentils or chickpeas. While they have the same calorie count as regular pasta, they have more protein at 13 grams per 2 ounce serving. If you want to lower the calorie count, consider squash instead of pasta. Spaghetti squash and zoodles have about 30 calories per cup, while butternut spirals run around 60 calories per cup. Both zoodles and butternut spirals are available in the freezer section, which makes them a quick and easy option.
All right, I'm going to get started on our sauce. Even though we're using a bottled sauce, I want to zhuzh it up, make it a little bit more personal for you. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of oil to the pan, which I've already got started heating. And then in here I have 1/2 of a red bell pepper, 1/2 of a green bell pepper, and 1/2 of a large white onion. After I get them started, I'll put them on low with the lid on and let them do like a steam saute. We're going to start the meatballs by taking a look at the seasonings. So I've already pre-measured these. In here we have 2 teaspoons of dried parsley, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1/2 teaspoon regular paprika, 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper, and 1 tablespoon of dried minced onion. To that, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of whole Italian seasonings and 1/2 teaspoon of fennel. The reason these are out is because they need to be processed a little bit more, because the meat is so lean that if we don't break these up a little bit, then it's going to taste like we have sticks in our meatballs, and that's not good. So I just have a spice grinder here. Well, it's a coffee grinder. I use it only for spices. I'm going to run these in here. Now, if you don't have a spice grinder for this, or that's fine. If you have a mortar and pestle, just break it up a little bit. If you don't have either one, just add about a tablespoon of water to the Italian seasonings, let it sit for a minute, and the fennel seed can go in whole. I just like to put it in here so that it's more evenly dispersed throughout the meatballs. All right, so that's whirred up pretty good, broken it down a little bit more. We're just going to add this to our spices and give that a good mix so that it's all combined before we add it to the meat. All right, so we're going to start the meatballs by taking a pound of lean ground beef, 7% fat, 10% fat is fine, that's what I used for the calculations. And then we're going to put in 2 of these turkey Italian sausages. You just slide those out of the casing, and we're going to mix those in with everything else. All right, so we're going to add in the 2 eggs. The seasoning, and the 1 cup of panko crumbs. Now you could do this with all lean beef or all turkey. I like to add the turkey sausage just for a little bit of extra flavor. We do want the meatballs to be the star of what we're doing here.
Let's take a look at the nutrition for Japanese-style panko breadcrumbs. 1/2 cup serving is 110 calories and only 35 milligrams of sodium. When you compare this to other breadcrumbs, You could potentially, for half a cup, have 200 calories and 800 milligrams of sodium.
The meat has rested after being mixed. We let it rest about 10 minutes. We're going to mold these and scoop them using this scooper. It's about the size of a large melon baller. We want our meatballs to be about 1.5 inches in size.
You want to end up with 24 meatballs. They'll range in size from 1¼ to 1½ ounces. Just divide the meat evenly.
We're laying them on a sheet pan that we've covered with parchment paper. That comes in really handy when they're done cooking because then you have easy cleanup and the meatballs don't stick to the paper. So they're going to go in the oven for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. While the meatballs are cooking, we're going to finish up our sauce. So this sauce has been cooking on a really low heat for 10 to 15 minutes. If you're not sure of your pot, you can actually hold off doing this stage until you've got the meatballs in, just for safety, so you don't burn it. I'm going to add in 2 minced garlic cloves, and I'm going to do that now just to give them a little tiny bit of a cook. They don't need very much, and if you cook them for too long, they can get a little bit bitter. To that, we're going to add a jar of sauce. So this is just one that I picked up in the grocery store. Do this over a low heat so you don't splatter it all over yourself. Put that right in. To that, I'm going to add 1 cup of red table wine. Any red table wine will do. Because I put that in my jar and I shook it up to get all that tomatoey goodness out of there. And I'm just going to add that to the sauce as well. And I'm going to add 1 cup of just plain water. Now the reason I want to do that is because I'm going to simmer this sauce for a while and I don't want it to get too thick. So this gives me the ability to simmer it 20 minutes, an hour, whatever I need it to simmer.
Wine adds 33 calories per serving. If you choose not to use it, add an extra cup of water.
Go ahead and bring that up to a simmer, turn it down onto a low heat, and just keep an eye on it, stir it occasionally.
When choosing a pasta sauce, make sure to find one without any added sugars. Check the ingredients list for sugar or high fructose corn syrup, and many jars will say whether or not there are added sugars. Most pasta sauces are 1/2 cup serving size, and servings per container can vary. Check the label for calories and sodium before making your decision. This one is 50 calories with 410 milligrams sodium. This one is 90 calories with 380 milligrams sodium, and this one is 25 calories with 310 milligrams sodium.
The meatballs are done, so let's go get those out. Look at those sizzly beauties. Cooking them at that high temperature helps to sear them and keep all the juices in. We're going to go ahead and add those into our sauce to finish cooking. So you see how easily they could release from that parchment paper, and then when it's all done, I'll go ahead and just throw that away. Once these are all in the pot, we'll make sure the temperature is still turned down fairly low. Keep it at a simmer for another 10 to 15 minutes, and just occasionally check on it and stir it while that's happening. All right, the meatballs are done. The sauce has thickened up a little bit.
6 servings may be too many, but this recipe lends itself well to meal prep.
This is a 3-cup glass dish with a silicone lid. It's really great for meal prep, and that's what I'm going to use to show you, but you could also use these kinds of containers that you can pick up in the grocery store. They work just fine as well. I'm going to start off with our 1 serving of spaghetti, which once it's cooked is about a cup. I'm going to put that on this side here. And then I've also got a serving of broccoli, which is about a cup here. I'm going to put that in there. We want to make a little barrier. And then we're going to put the meatballs. And we're going to put the sauce in last at the end. Now the reason you do it like this is so that when the meatballs and sauce are in the fridge, the sauce doesn't get all soaked into your pasta. So this you can close up. This can go in the freezer or the refrigerator, and then you can eat it when you're ready. And this is great for dinner. Because we don't have any garlic bread and we haven't added any Parmesan cheese, we're able to keep the numbers really low for calories, and it has a good amount of protein in it. Let me get a taste, and then we'll go over the numbers. This is really good. You guys should try it.
As prepared, this meatballs and pasta with sauce has 475 calories, 13 grams of fat, and 30 grams of protein.